You're tuned to the hour of decision.
Our real heroes in Oklahoma. Let's talk about Dr. E.W. Perry. Dr. E.W. Perry led the Oklahoma Baptist State Convention in the establishment of the Oklahoma School of Religion, which was out at Langston, Oklahoma. Dr. Perry was elected president of the Oklahoma Baptist State Convention in 1919. And it was in 1936 that Dr. Perry established the Oklahoma Baptist State Convention. When we think of Dr. E.W. Perry, we think of a great leader. We think of a man that has dedicated his life to the preservations of the principles that really counted in life. When we think of him, we think of the many students that went through the Oklahoma School of Religion at Langston University. Those students are witnesses to his visions, his dreams that he put together with hard work and his ability to mobilize people. Dr. Perry was a native of Mississippi, and he always talked about the fact that he was born in a double log cabin, the third of 11 children. He was reared under the poorest of circumstances. He knew what it meant to draw water from a well. He understood how to pack water on his head from a spring when the well went dry or when a rabbit fell in the well. Oh, he remembered the crops back in Mississippi. They were corn, cotton, potatoes, and cane in which to make molasses or syrup. Dr. E.W. Perry stated that he knew what it meant to get up from the table and leave unsatisfied because the meal was not sufficient to fill his body. He remembered his schooling, which consisted of short terms, 3 months each year. He was a grandson of former slaves, and he could tell stories from slavery days, which his grandparents and parents told him. His grandparents told him of the whippings from the slave masters and of the poor blacks who were chased by dogs just for the white man's entertainment. And he used to look back through the years and say, but thank the Lord, we have long ago passed beyond times like those. Many people remember his dream when one night he remembered taking a long journey, and finally he came to a pool of water. And he followed a man down into the water and was baptized, and he wiped his face with a towel. Then the man told him the story of Philip and the eunuch in Acts 8:26-40. And then the man disappeared. He had a difficult time deciding on the race of the man that he had followed. And he came to a basic conclusion. And that conclusion was and is an answer to the race problems. It is God's love in Christ. God wants all of us to be brothers, regardless of the color of our skin. For 40 years, Dr. E.W. Perry served as president of the Oklahoma Baptist State Convention and vice president of the National Baptist Convention for many years. For 42 years, he was a pastor of the Tabernacle Baptist Church in Oklahoma City. And then he was a pastor emeritus until his death in 1969. Talk to anyone about E.W. Perry, they will say he was truly a great leader, a great dreamer, a man who made things happen. Well, that was Dr. Perry, Dr. E.W. Perry. But tomorrow, the Perrys will return to Tabernacle Baptist Church. They will return not only with memories of their father and their grandfather, their uncle, but they will return with their own memories because his family has been unusually successful. To read about the accomplishments of the Perrys is like reading a fairy story. They have succeeded in business, in education. Name the field and they have succeeded. And it's not surprising that yesterday, Reverend and Mrs. E.J. Perry's home became a place for a mini Perry reunion. The family got together and they were served delicious food. They talked about old times. They showed videos. They listened to tapes, all because of a man known as Dr. E.W. Perry, who had given to the world some greats. But this evening, the Perry family will gather in the lovely home of Mrs. Darlene McLeod. There they will eat again. They will talk. They will listen at other tapes. But tomorrow, the family will gather at Tabernacle Baptist Church in a family tradition. And today, as we think of the Perrys, I would like for you just to think of some of the descendants. Think of those that have flown in here from California, and yet, as I related to you E.W. Perry's story, a man who was born during the dark days of American history, but look what he has given the world. Flying in, Earl Jennings and Willie and Perry, Arnita Carr, Earl III and Katy Perry, and most of these will be coming out of California. And Reverend and Mrs. E. Perry, Richard and Martha Ann Palmer, Dr. Katy Perry of Stillwater, Oklahoma, Richard III, Brenda Palmer, Juanita Perry, Marie Perry Lee, Darcel Woods, Penny. Oh, wait a minute, Brenda, I don't want to get any of these Perrys confused. Now, let me go back over these Perrys, and they'll all be at Tabernacle tomorrow. Earl Jennings, Willie and Perry, Arnetta Carr, Earl III, Katy Perry, Darlene McLeod, Darcel Woods, Reverend and Mrs. E. Perry, Richard and Martha Ann Palmer, Dr. Katy Perry, Richard III, Brenda Palmer, Juanita Perry, and Marie Perry Lee. Now, when we talk about Perry, I want you to know that I had the opportunity today to look at a T-shirt that was designed and made by Earl III. And he made it with dots. I want you to see it. On that T-shirt, you will see the names of all of the descendants of Reverend E.W. Perry inscribed. There are several books that I would like to recommend to you about Reverend E.W. Perry, and I want you to read about him. I want you to tell your children that in Oklahoma City, once upon a time, there lived a man that made a difference. His name was Reverend E.W. Perry. And to the Perry family, wherever you are, remember Clara Luper is dedicating this to you because of the fact that you are a descendant from Reverend and Mrs. E.W. Perry. It's Freedom Fiesta time in Oklahoma. That's a time that we go back and remember the city in years from 1958 to 1964, and then becoming involved in the garbage strike in 1969. A week to remember. On Monday, August the 15th, the NACPers would get together. They would talk about their week, and they will talk about how far we have come, and they will look back and see why we were able to make it. On Tuesday, August the 16th, will be Cecil L. Williams Day, and that will be the day that we will get out to vote. The theme will be Vote and Be Heard. Cheryl Fowler, Mrs. Leola Ford, and Mrs. Marilyn Long are in control of that day, and they announced that that evening there will be hot dogs for sale at the Freedom Center. In fact, they call it a hot dog festival. That's on Tuesday. On Wednesday, August the 17th, is a sit-inners day with emphasis on the original sit-inners. There are still a few that's left in Oklahoma City, a few of the 13. There will be a huge sit-inners tea that was sponsored by Mrs. S. Bennett at Dolores' restaurant. You are invited. That is in the Northeast Shopping Center. And I would like for you to see one of our well-known teachers here in Oklahoma City school system, Mrs. Sononia Bennett, who is in charge of the Sit-Inners Day on Wednesday, August the 17th. On Thursday, August the 18th, is the President's Day. Gwendolyn Fuller, Harold Woodson, and Shelley Luper, who is the president this time. And Shelley, I would like for you to tell us what you're planning on Thursday, August the 18th, 1988. The sponsor of that is Mrs. James Juniper.
The sponsor is Georgia Juniper.
Oh, well, her husband's name is James, and I can call her Mrs. James Juniper. Okay.
On President's Day, we will be having a horror movie festival. It will cost $1 for 2 movies, and the time we're still debating, and it will be held at Merlin Hildred's home.
Are you inviting the people to come out?
Yes, we would like everyone that wants to see a horror movie to come out.
Okay, well, Shelley, I'm telling you, horror movies, I don't know. I guess I better get ready for a horror movie. What does that basically mean?
A scary movie.
A scary movie. Those of you that want to see a scary movie, be sure and see Shelley. On Friday, Letty Ruth Hunter, Lillian Oliver, and Nancy Davis's day. Many of you know that we lost Lillian Oliver a few years ago. But before then, she was one of the founders of the Freedom Fiesta. And on Friday, she, Letty Ruth Hunter, and Nancy Davis would always have a fashion show. This year will be no exception. At 7:30 p.m., you are invited to the Freedom Center's Fashion, Talent, and Coronation, which will be at 7:30 p.m. at Freedom Center, 2609 North Martin Luther King Avenue. But Saturday is Clara Luper's Day. That is the day. That is the day. Clara Luper's Day, August the 20th. There will be a parade at 10 a.m. and my child will be in charge of that parade. The theme will be Vote and Be Heard. The parade will start at Leroy Pitts Park and go west to Lottie, and Lottie to Northeast 23rd Street, 23rd to Martin Luther King Avenue, and left on Martin Luther King Avenue to Freedom Center, 2609 North Martin Luther King Avenue. After then will be the Freedom Fiesta Dinner, which will be at the Northeast YMCA. The tickets are only $20. The guest speaker will be that great Mrs. Nala Jewel Phillips, the first black to establish a beauty school in the state of Oklahoma. A lady who has lived in such a way that she has brought inspiration to thousands of young people. Don't miss hearing Nala Jewel Phillips. The tickets are $20 each, and they are going to benefit Freedom Center and the NACP Youth Council. Those of you that would like to get tickets may call us at 478-2103. Now here's Mr. Payne that will be in charge of the Clara Luper's Day Parade. Mr. Payne.
Hello, Mother Clara and listening audience. We're encouraging and urging that all of Oklahoma City and all of the state help us to make this Clara Luper Parade be a success. We all know what Miss Luper has done for her contributions to our state and to our nation. So I am again asking and demanding your support. And if you need any information, please call us now at the station or call us at 424-3949 or 390-3594 for further information. Please call us, and I will be in contact with this listening audience by brochures, flyers, and through the media. So please get in contact with us so this parade will be a success.
All right, now what we really got to do in this parade is to show how much progress we have made. Did you know how many black folks and white liberal folks do you think would drive Cadillacs in the parade?
Oh, maybe around 100.
Okay, so we will have a section reserved for the Cadillacs.
For the Cadillac drivers.
Queens and kings. Okay, we're going to see how many of you out there that own Cadillacs will get in this parade to show the progress that we have made. And I understand that there are some actually minorities and some liberal whites that own Mercedes.
That is correct, Mrs. Luper.
Do you think that we can get a section for Mercedes?
I think it's important that we do. I know several of your constituents that are now driving Mercedes.
Oh, it's Mercedes. Oh, I'm sorry. Mercedes. Now, what other automobiles do we have that can participate in the parade?
Well, we would like for you, Chevrolet General Motors driver. We have a plant here in Oklahoma, and we would like to have you General Motors drivers to attend this parade. Ford, Lincoln Mercury, several Lincoln drivers, in the listening audience to please help us and support us to make this parade be a success. And the foreign car drivers, the Nissans, please be present.
Okay, well, I know my husband is listening, and he has a 1988 Chrysler, so you better invite the
Chrysler, please. Dodge, please be there. All make models, horses as well. You may bring out that East Side Roundup Club. We know how you all have supported Miss Luper through the years. We would like to have Mr. Henderson and his group to also participate in this parade.
Well, this is really going to be great. We will show how far we have come. We'd better put the horses. I don't know where we're going to put the horses, but we got to get us a buggy. What is anybody out there? Do we know anybody with a buggy and a wagon? And then we'll move on up, okay?
That's right.
Well, I sure want to put my Chevy in. I have a Nova that's out of sight. It's a 73 Nova, and it is beautiful. All of you that got 73 Novas that want to ride in my section, come on and ride with me. Shelly's shaking her head. Shelly, what's wrong with my Nova? It's blue and it's beautiful. Yes. We are talking about what section you're going to be in. Now, we have another section for the motorcycles. And did you know we have some of Oklahoma City, by population, has more motorcycle owners in the minority community than any city size in America?
That sounds realistic, Miss Luper. Several of my friends own motorcycles, so if you're out there listening right now and you're not in a club, still come to the parade, but contact us before the parade so we can put you in the agenda for the parade. Because we're going to line this parade up with some type of organization. We want to have the cars in the front, and of course, Miss Luper, that horse buggy is going to have to be at the back for certain reasons, if you know what I mean.
No, I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean, but I know one thing. We're going to show progress. Once upon a time, there were blacks that drove wagons to the polls to vote. There were others that rode horses. But things have changed, and today we will be looking at those that will be riding in General Motors, Fords, and what other kind of cars?
Mercedes, Nissans, Cadillacs.
All right on, brothers and
Hondas.
sisters, ride on.
And even we will have a caravan of us true walkers.
How about the vans?
Oh, yes, we must have a section for our van drivers.
Okay, we've got to have someone that will help us. Our telephone number is 478-2103. Those of you that belong to the Cadillac Club, give us a call, a Mercedes Club, and own. The telephone number is 478-2103. We are also calling for the bicycle riders.
Oh, yes, those of you that are now involved with exercising, this would be a perfect time to come out and show our community exactly the way you feel in support of this day. In all sincerity, vote and be heard. We want you to be involved with our parade, Oklahoma City, and listening audience.
Vote and be heard will be the theme of the 1988 Freedom Fiesta. On Sunday, August the 21st, we will gather at the Northeast Baptist Church on Bartail Road, right off of 36 in Bartail, to give thanks to God for the progress that we have made. And speaking of progress, you will be able to see some blacks that have gone to the top in various fields. They will be at the Clara Luper's dinner. They will be presented before Miss Nyla Jewel Phillips speaks. On Sunday then, at exactly 4 o'clock, we want you at the Northeast Baptist Church. At that time, Reverend K. Jerome Free, the newly elected pastor of the Mount Carmel Baptist Church, will deliver a message. Don't forget, that's August the 21st. Now let's go back to Clara Luper's Day. I know you're going to make it a success. The tickets for the dinner is only $20, and that's not much for people like you. $20 are the tickets. I really got a thrill yesterday. I was out and I saw so many black people that were going into restaurants with their children, and it was really satisfying. But it just didn't happen. Someone made it happen. Thank you so very kindly.
Thank
and
you,
I'll
Mother
be
Clara.
back with you in just a few minutes. This is a Clara Luper radio show, and this portion of our show is being brought to you by Sherry's Cleaners. Sherry's Cleaners is located at 4905 North Martin Luther King Avenue here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. If you want your clothes clean, and I'm talking about really clean, and if you want to put them in today and get them out today, go to Sherry's Cleaners, 4905 North Martin Luther King. Go in, talk to Carlos Williams. Talk to his lovely wife, Gwendolyn. See the kind of help that he has. See the plant. Your clothes are clean right at 4905 North Martin Luther King. Now, Carlos has had experience. He has attended school, but I don't care how long you go to school. Experience is a school that you cannot overlook, and he has that. That's 4905 North Martin Luther King. The telephone number is 424-8020. Sherry's Cleaners here in Oklahoma City. As you listen to the Clara Luper radio show, you often say, well, how can Clara Luper stay on the air? And it has been a long time. I've been on the air over 20 years. I've been able to stay on the air because you have supported our sponsors. You have bought Rainbow Bread. You have gone to the cleaners that we have told you about. And you have gone to the optometrists that people will never forget. In the pages of history, there's a story about Dr. and Mrs. A.L. Dowell and their son, Robert. Dr. Dowell has stood the test and has passed the test, which calls for first-class citizenship. He has fought the fight and has fought well. He's fought discrimination on every hand, and he has paid deeply for it. His story is the same story of Daisy Bates, Medgar Evers, and others, because there are a lot of ways that you can kill a person. You can kill a person with your tongue, and maybe the Nigerian was right, which say that the tongue was the most dangerous part of the human body. Yes, but Dr. Dowell has stood. He has stood against the Board of Education. At the time, the Board of Education says black students must go here. Transfers are all right for whites, but not for blacks. Dr. Dowell stood there. Now, those of you that want to show your appreciation to Dr. A.L. Dowell, talk is cheap. But when you get ready to have your eyes examined, you need some glasses. Go to Dr. Dowell, located at 934 Northeast 8th Street here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. This is a Clara Luper radio show here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. There are many memories that we take with us. And when God gave man memory and memories, I think that was an invention that's so difficult to understand, yet it has been so much a part of our lives. And when I think of school, when I think of my teaching experiences, I continue to think of Dungy High School. I never shall forget when I went to Dungy High School as a teacher. That time I was young and I was ambitious. I was determined that my students would see things that I've never seen and would go places that I've never been. And I've been so pleased. And I understand that next week will be the week that Dungy will have its reunion. And to tell us about the reunion, I'm happy today to bring to you a college professor that I had the opportunity to teach, that I had the opportunity to travel with, that I had the opportunity to take care of, the Honorable Mrs. Joanne Johnson Pollard. Joanne, congratulations. I understand that you're now teaching English at language arts at Oklahoma University. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm teaching freshman composition at the University of Oklahoma.
Freshman composition, what does that mean?
It simply means that our concentration is on writing.
On writing. So you're teaching that at the University of Oklahoma.
Yes.
When I knew you, you were a student at Dungy High School. You were just a baby, and I took you to New York City. I shall never forget that.
I shall not forget either.
Okay, well, I'm so happy that you remember, and I'm happier that you are now a professor at Oklahoma University. But I invited you here not to talk about your educational achievements, but I invited you here because I wanted to know about the Dungy School reunion. Tell me all about it.
All right, we are celebrating the Dungy School reunion, and we are highlighting the school's opening from 1942 to its closing in 1972. Our theme for this year will be The Way We Were, and we have several activities lined up for this next weekend. The activities will begin Friday, August 5th. Registration will start at 12 o'clock at the Field House, we had planned to have all of our activities at the Dungey campus because that's our school. Our school was not at a hotel. It was not at a community center. It was Dungey, and we want to go back to the site so that we can share memories.
Are you taking fans with you?
We have fans.
How do you think those students these adults now that are used to air conditioning, how do you think they're going to adjust?
They'll have to adjust. They've already told us that they're used to air conditioning. And we told them that we're going to have industrial-sized fans. And we'll have some small fans for those individuals who need personalized fans. But we will register from 12 o'clock until 6 p.m. at the Dungey Field House.
Okay, when you say register, what does that basically mean?
When you register, you will come in and pay your $25.
Just $25?
If you plan to attend all of our events. $25 is a price until 5. Now, we will not be able to tour it after they've closed down for the day. We will not be able to tour the old high school building. It has been vandalized, and it has had to be boarded up. So we will not be able to go in it, but we'll be able to walk around the grounds.
Well, you can walk around, and then when you walk around, you can think of those great lovers, Willie Wooten and Wilma, Parker. You can really think, but this program is being made possible by Burger Brothers, and we will be back with Joanne in just a minute. In the meantime, here's Shelley.
Burger Brothers specials of the day are USDA chuck roast for $1.18 a pound, Corn King Franks, 2 12-ounce packages for $1, Sunday House boneless turkey hams, 99 cents a pound, Wilson certified 1-pound bacon, $1.09 a package, and Whiting fish, a 5-pound box for $3.99. And that's at Burger Brothers, 412 South Harvey.
Well, those of you that are out shopping, go to Burger Brothers, and Burger Brothers has some watermelons that are out of sight. Speaking of being out of sight, this program is being made possible by your Allstate agent, Marilyn Hildred. Marilyn's office is located at 9228 North May Avenue. 9228 North May Avenue. Her telephone number is 848-7470. Now, when you go out on May Avenue, remember Marilyn's office is 9228 North May Avenue. Her telephone number is 848-7470. I met a funny thing. I had a funny experience. I had one lady call me and say, "Oh, Miss Luper, I'm so proud of Marilyn. Marilyn is doing so fine in the insurance business." And I asked her one question. I say, "Have you allowed Marilyn to look at your policy?" And she started laughing. "No, I haven't. I'm praying for her." And I said, "Well, stop praying for Marilyn and take your policy out there and let her look at it so she can save you some money." And I'm very serious. Marilyn needs your prayers. But Jesus taught us that if you want to really bring about some changes, you've got to get up and look around. So I want you to, and you are just like me, you don't know the insurance business. I'm in education. But what I want you to do is take your insurance policies out to Maryland's. I'm talking about your home insurance, your automobile insurance, your life insurance. Let her look at them. And if she can save you some money, I would like for you to let her save you some money, because with your extra money, guess what you can do? You can go to the Dungey reunion. I know the people out to Dungey have always supported Maryland. I'll be back with Joanne in just a minute. In the meantime, I got my favorite AME on the telephone. Letty.
Right. You know, I got caught out here at the mall, and I wasn't going to make it back before 3 o'clock. But I did want to call you and let you know about the wonderful Christian Leadership Congress that the 12th Episcopal District had this week. That was held down at the Sheraton Center Hotel, and also...
That was held where? That was held where?
Because I'm on a payphone.
It was held where?
Oh, it was held here in Oklahoma City at the Sheraton Century Hotel.
Now, don't mean to tell me you Methodists have gone down to the Sheraton Century.
Yes, but most of the joint sessions were held over in the Marriott Hotel. So we met over there for our joint sessions, or for the hour of power, we met over there, and then for the commitment services we met over there. All of the services like that was over in the Myriad because of the seating capacity of the people.
About how many people did you have attending that meeting this week?
Well, Mrs. Luper, I didn't get the exact count from the board, but from looking over it, from especially when I was there, I'd say there was around better than maybe 3,000 people or more.
Oh, I'm sure sorry I missed that one. I understand you have a new bishop.
Yes, Mrs. Luper, we do have a new bishop. Our bishop is Bishop Henry A. Beelin, C-E-L-I-N. We're so happy to have him.
Well, where's my bishop? Where's Bishop Brookins?
Bishop Brookins has a transfer. He will be going this year. They tell me he's transferred to Washington, D.C. Can you believe it?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised at anything you Methodists do.
Right.
You Methodists never surprise me.
Well, I understand that.
Okay.
So we are happy to have Mr. Beeling. I do not remember his home, neither do I remember what district he is coming from. But nevertheless, they appointed him, and I'm going to find all of this out about the bishop because he is coming to the 12th district, and that's me. And we're just so happy to have somebody who will be coming and working with us.
Well, is he in Oklahoma City now?
Well, he was in Oklahoma City all this week, and I understand that he's going down to Shawnee one day to speak with a group down there. So he's been here all the week, but he's going down there, I understand, either today or for the tomorrow morning church services. That's where he will be. Because I've had many, many activities going for me, though, this week. Not only the Christian Leadership Congress that was going on. Our church, our First Day Church, was really hurt because of the loss of one of our wonderful members, and who was Verna Mason. And on yesterday, we funeralized Verna Mason at the First Day Church. And then I've been been campaigning and doing some things like that. So it's really been a busy, busy week for me. And sometimes, Mrs. Luper, if you don't have anything to do, I'd appreciate you coming by where I'm working. And I'm working over here on Kelly and 23rd, on the corner of 23rd and Kelly. And I've had signs all green and white, so you can't miss us. So come on over and see what we are doing over there in the campaign headquarters.
Oh, I see. You're campaigning.
Yes, I'm campaigning, and I'm doing church work also. So see, I'm just a busy lady.
Okay, well.
I got back, from the national convention, and from that I went into this campaign, and then from that into the church service. And so I've really been real busy this week, taking care of political business and religious business as well. We did have some very, very good programs. The YPD, guys come trombone. They really had a wonderful program. The YPD did. And I'm talking about them because they are young people. And we had so many young men. I'm always elated when there are a lot of young men participating in our Christian endeavors.
Well, I'm real proud of that, and I'm happy that you are involved in a campaign. We have some interesting campaigns that are coming up, and I do hope that you will tell your whoever you're campaigning, if they would like to advertise with us here at KBYE and on the Clara Luper radio show.
I am talking about to my candidate. I am talking with Freddie, and we plan to campaign with you, and I'm going to get a date to put my candidate on so that the public can hear her and they can get
Well, the public sure want to hear her. There are a lot of questions that the public would like to ask your candidate.
This is what we're going to be ready for, to answer the public's questions.
Okay.
So we're going to try on Saturday to be with you.
Okay, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Now, I understand that you're getting ready for the Freedom Fiesta.
Oh, that Freedom Fiesta, yes. So I'm getting ready for that this August. See, I'm just a very busy lady. And this Freedom Fiesta on Friday night, this is when I want them to come out to see all the fantastic things that children will be wearing back to school. And then we're going to have some surprises for them. And I know they're going to come out to see what the surprise is, because we're going to show them what the younger set can do. Now, they will be performing not only in modeling, but they will be doing some other literary things, and they'll be singing as well as speaking. And we have some wonderful soloists, so come on out on Friday night at 7 o'clock at the Freedom Center and witness the Nancy Davis and Lady Ruth Hunter and Lillian Oliver's fashion show.
Okay, now, I know you and your whole group will be at that $20 plate dinner.
Oh, you know we're going to be at your dinner.
Of course, I know that. Of course, I know that. But one more question. Now, in the parade, we are going to classify you. What crowd will you be with? Will you be with the riding the horses, the wagons, the buggies? Will you be in the Cadillac group,
Oh, no.
Mercedes?
We're going to be showing our queens off. You know, we crown queens. So we're going to have our Miss Freedom, Fiesta Queen there on a car. We're going to have our Mrs. Freedom on a car, and we're going to have our King and Queen on cars. This is what we're going to be representing. We're going to be representing our fashion show queens.
Okay, well, I'll look to see you there, and I will be telling you about a red Cadillac with an open top. It's a red convertible Cadillac. I've been debating. A friend of mine called, and he's going to do that Cadillac. I might ride in that red Cadillac myself.
Because you're having this hot $20 dinner?
Oh, that $20 dinner is out of sight. And I'm sorry, I can't have but 200 people present. So the first 200 will have to pay that $20. Lady, I'm going to have to let you go. I love you, and I'll see you somewhere working for your candidate, and I'm going to be working for mine. Okay, bye-bye. Yes, I'm going to be working for my candidate. This is a Clara Luper radio show, and I'm talking to some people that are really making news, and news are being made every day when a group of young people decide that they are going to come home. One writer said, be it ever so humble, there's no place like home. As we think about the political races, I want you to look at the county sheriff's race. I want you to go down to the county building, and I want you to look at the sheriff of Oklahoma County, who has certainly made a major step in sheriffology. He has been able to put together a staff, an integrated staff, integrated not only in black and white and Indians, but also in males and females. And I would like today to take this opportunity to salute Sheriff J.D. Sharp and wish for him the best of luck. I know that the people in this county will remember the days when the sheriff's office did not have the dignity, did not have the class that it has now. And when you go to the polls, I know you will vote for Sheriff J.D. Sharp. We have been talking about the Dungy reunion. Remember, there will be another reunion. I think I'm supposed to be one of the guest speakers at the Lincoln High School class reunion, which is the Pawnee High School class reunion, which will also be next weekend. And if you're from Pawnee, or if you ever went to school at Pawnee, be sure and get in contact with the Pawnee Reunion Committee. I will be there, and I would like to thank those of you from Lincoln High School in Pawnee that selected me as your reunion speaker. I will see you in Stillwater, Oklahoma. The reunion will be held in Stillwater, Oklahoma. Mr. Payne, you've been sitting here. You're a graduate of Dungy High School, and how do you feel about the school reunion?
Well, Mother Clara, I'm excited about the reunion. Dungy, it is my home. Coincidentally and ironically, I'm glad to be a member of the last class of Dungy High School.
You were a member of the last class?
Yes.
After you, there will be no more.
There will be no more. A member as well as the last class president of Dungy High School. And that to me is an honor, sitting here with two of my past and present teachers, because once they are your teacher, they will always be your teacher.
I love that.
So I would just like to encourage all of the students, the former Dungy family, the present Dungy family, to please get in touch with us at the 670-8036, 672-8036. I am so sorry. Please call us now here at the station, but contact us so we can make this union, and so it will be a success. We want you there, Dungy family. We're asking you to please contact us as soon as possible so we will include you in the different festivities that will be held. So now I'm going to turn it back over to the president of our reunion, Mrs. Pollard. I'm so used to calling her Mrs. Pollard. I've been around the last few days. They call her Joanne, so I'm in the middle there. So I'm going to give it back to the president of the reunion, and I'm asking that these classes support this reunion.
Thank you, Theodis. We do look forward to seeing everybody, but call me. You may call me any time of day or night. call anytime, day or night. Someone is always at that number, 672-8036. And someone has asked, do I have to mail my money? Well, the registration begins Friday, but if you want to take your money to someone, take it to Maxine Sutton. She's at 63rd and Post Road. And she is our treasurer, and your money will not get away from Maxine. All right, we'd like to thank the people on the committee, people I've not named. Those I've already named are on the committee, but Maddie Kilpatrick and Cedar Harrison have just been the committee. Now, all of the names of people I have given, including Theodos's name, and of course he's already been introduced to you, have been people who have worked faithfully with this reunion program. We look forward to seeing all of you. We want to hear from you. Do not ask, is it too late? The only time it's too late for the banquet is Friday at 6 o'clock.
Okay, now you've talked about the students. How much are you charging the teachers too, the old teachers?
Well, I'll tell you what. Mrs. Los Angeles Joseph sent her complete registration. She was the first teacher to send hers. Mrs. Johnny Stevenson sent hers, and I believe Mrs. Lula Marzette sent hers. And we got Reverend Parker's, I believe.
Okay, so you're saying that the teachers are to register like everyone else?
Yes, because we are in a situation where some of our teachers were also students.
Oh, well, that's good. Let all the student teachers register. That's really great.
Well, Miss Luper, you're my guest. Remember, we've already talked about
yes,
this. You're my guest, so your dinner's already paid for.
And Maurice Park and my others coming. I don't have anything to worry about except to tell you that this is the Clara Luper radio show. Now, last week, many of you were critical because of the stand I took on the Democratic Party. I do not apologize for it. I feel that the Democratic Party must become the Democratic Party, or it will not hold the support of the people that should be supporting the Democratic Party. I am not excited about a Democratic Party of which the Democratic leadership, especially on the national level, has not appointed or not recommended to the President of the United States to appoint a black federal judge. Now, some of you grinning Democrats might be pleased, but I am not pleased. As I travel across the country, Oklahoma has less appointed blacks in federal positions than any other state. Now, you grinning Democrats, keep grinning, but somewhere down the line, someone must stop and look and see where we are going. The only governor of Oklahoma that appointed a black judge was a Republican, Bartlett, and that was Judge Owens. Now, if you have some new information, tell me. I don't like playing checkers with people's future, and this is what has happened. I've seen one black serve on this committee, then that same black is moved to another committee, and that same black is moved. That's not progress. That's just playing checkers with token black people. Now, the Democratic Party this year must come out. They must give black people what Jesse Jackson was talking about, and that's respect. They don't even see us. I would like to invite the chairperson of the Democratic Party to come here to KBYE Radio, to the Clara Luper radio show, and answer some questions. I would also like to further say that we have black people that have been elected in political positions that are as insensitive to black needs as whites. Now, I see no reason why we should change a black coat for a white coat, or a white coat for a black coat, and we aren't going to get anything out of the game. I would like to invite our black elected officials, and you have to invite them if they are going to come to an NAACP meeting. You've got to invite them. You've got to have them on the stage or as speaker, or else they will not come. I was shocked when I read in the paper that Kevin Cox had offered to pay a local newspaper, namely the Black Chronicle, to write something bad about me. And I can hardly believe that Kevin Cox would stoop to anything like that. Well, whatever I had to say about Kevin Cox, I said it publicly. And that was at a time when he did not have a black secretary. I criticized him because I had gone out to talk to some of the white representatives, and they told me that the blacks didn't have black secretaries. Why should they? I'm saying that as Democrats, And I am a registered Democrat, but I'm not married to the Democratic Party nor the Republican Party. I think that Jesse Jackson has done more for voter registration than any man I have ever read about in history. And because of his registration, we can't live on Jesse Jackson's registration. We are going to have to get out here and register people to vote. And the Democrats, I'm talking about the white Democrats, and I'm talking about the grinning black Democrats that are not getting anything out of the game but a big grin and a big smile, must get up, register people. Now, if you think that the NACP Youth Council is going to get around here and register a bunch of people while other people are grinning and waiting in order that they can vote, you're wrong. We are going to look at the records, and we are going to keep the records in front of the people. Now, if you don't like that, and if you don't like what I'm saying, you come out here and tell your story. You are welcome to come out here and explain to me why the black people in Oklahoma have always given the Democrats their votes and not one black federal judge has been appointed. I know that the President of the United States, under the Constitution, appoints the judges. I also know that the President contacts the senators, and the senators recommend judges. Now, if you beat that. Now, if you don't like it, you white Democrats and you black grinning Democrats that have gotten nothing for years of voting, well, maybe you better look at the Republican Party. And if you don't get nothing out of the Republican Party, then maybe, I don't know. This is a Clara Luper radio show, and as I look at the clock on the wall, I know it's time for me to say goodbye. I would like to say a happy welcome to my sister, Mrs. Hazel Tuggle, who is in Oklahoma City and will be headed back to Phoenix on next Thursday. I would like to salute Mrs. Dorothy McLaughlin for having a wonderful picnic for the Amigos Club, and I would like to salute all of you that are going to register and to vote. I want you to register, I want you to vote, but most of all, I want you to think. And to think you are somebody, and you are somebody because God made you. Once again, to the Perry family, wherever you are, remember, Perrys, you are someone. You have been committed. You have a great history. And do you know what? I'm going to look at these Perrys today, and you will look at them at Tabernacle tomorrow. Clara Luper saying, I do love you.